The Christmas morning secret that almost broke a friendship. I never imagined that a casual conversation over drinks would get stuck in my mind like a splinter. But sometimes the smallest comments reveal the biggest surprises. And sometimes the people you think you understand completely suddenly show you a side you've never seen before. My friend, who I'll call Daniel, has been in my life for more than a decade. We met in our early 20s. We were loud, immature, convinced the world revolved around us. And somehow, through years of bad decisions turning into good lessons, we grew into actual adults with real responsibilities. He stood by me at my wedding. I've stood by him through breakups, promotions, moves, celebrations, and everything in between. Daniel is the kind of friend who remembers your birthday, shows up when you need help, and never hesitates to lend a hand. And then there's Emily. She's been with Daniel for 4 years. She is gentle but strong, practical but warm, and one of those rare people who can make a room feel lighter just by being in it. She challenges him, supports him, laughs at his terrible jokes, and she brings out parts of him that only existed in potential before she came along. So when Daniel told me he planned to propose, I felt nothing but happiness for them. He didn't even need to convince me the timing was right, because anyone with eyes could see they were already building a life together. The plan itself? Honestly, beautiful. Since Emily is extremely close with her family, and since Christmas was happening at her parents' house this year, Daniel arranged something sentimental. He convinced his own parents to make a surprise early morning visit. His idea was to propose in the middle of the gift opening chaos, a moment surrounded by laughter, warmth, and family. He wanted children squealing with excitement in the background. He wanted parents smiling and tearing up. He wanted that moment to feel woven into everything Emily loves about Christmas. And knowing her, she would absolutely adore it. But then, during a simple conversation that started with laughter and ended with tension, everything shifted. We were sitting in our usual booth at an old pub we've been going to since before either of us had real jobs. The place was decked out in Christmas lights, the kind of soft, glowing decorations that make everything look slightly warmer than reality. We were talking through his proposal plan when Daniel leaned back in his seat and said, almost casually, "At least proposing gets me out of Christmas shopping this year." I laughed at first. It sounded like a joke, a cheap attempt at humor, something he'd say while taking a sip of beer just to see my reaction. But then he looked at me, completely serious. "I mean it," he said. "I'm not buying her anything else. The proposal is the gift." I blinked at him, trying to understand whether I had misheard something. But no, he repeated it, calmly, like it was the most logical idea in the world. "You're serious?" I asked. "Of course," he said. "The ring cost a fortune, way more than I usually spend on gifts. This is enough." I didn't know how to respond right away. It felt wrong, but I couldn't figure out exactly how to phrase it without sounding judgmental. So I started carefully. "Daniel, a proposal is not the same thing as a Christmas present." He frowned, confused, genuinely confused. "Why not?" he asked. "I'm giving her a ring. That's huge. That's special. That's more meaningful than anything I could stick under the tree." I took a slow breath, not because I was angry, but because I could already sense that this conversation wasn't going the way I expected. When my husband proposed, I said gently, "It was amazing. But he still got me a birthday present the next month." The engagement wasn't a replacement for anything. It was its own thing. Daniel shook his head. "That's not how I see it. The ring is expensive. She'll love it. And honestly, I don't want to add more stress to my finances just because Christmas is around the corner." I could understand the logic. But knowing Daniel, knowing his salary, knowing he wasn't struggling financially, it didn't sit right. So I tried another angle. "Look," I said, "Emily loves Christmas. She loves the traditions. She loves the whole gift exchange thing. She's not materialistic, but she does value the gesture." Daniel shrugged. "Well, she'll understand when I propose." I shook my head slowly. "Think about it," I said. "Imagine everyone gathered around the tree. Her siblings opening gifts from their partners. The kids screaming with excitement. You unwrapping whatever sweet thing she got you. And she's sitting there with nothing from you." He opened his mouth to respond, but then paused. Just for a moment. A small flicker of doubt crossed his expression, but then he pushed it away. She'll understand, he repeated. She'll be too happy to care. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't criticize him. I didn't tell him what to do. I just said quietly, I think she'll care more than you think. And that sentence, that tiny sentence, was apparently enough to turn the air cold. Because Daniel leaned back and said, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't talk to you about this stuff anymore. You clearly have different views. Different views. A phrase so small, but heavy enough to bruise the air between us. We moved on to other topics after that. We laughed again. We finished our drinks. We walked out together, and everything seemed fine. But I left the pub with a strange feeling. Like something had shifted between us without either of us admitting it. Since then, we've talked normally. We've hung out. We haven't fought. But that moment, the moment he shut down, the moment he dismissed what I said, stayed with me like a quiet echo. Because I wasn't trying to undermine his proposal. I wasn't trying to insult him. I wasn't trying to tell him how to run his relationship. I was trying to be a friend. A real friend. The kind who says the truth even if it's inconvenient. And the truth is this. A proposal is a shared milestone. A mutual decision. Something both people benefit from. It's not a substitute for a gift. It doesn't replace the personal gesture of saying, I thought about you. I picked this for you. This is for you, because I love you. Emily buys Daniel thoughtful gifts every year. She plans ahead. She listens. She picks things he'll actually use or enjoy. For her, the tradition matters. The exchange matters. The feelings behind it matter. And I can't shake the image in my mind. Christmas morning, wrapping paper everywhere. Children laughing. Parents smiling. People hugging and exchanging presents. And Emily, warm, loving, sentimental Emily, watching Daniel open gifts from her, while she has nothing from him at all. Not because he forgot, but because he decided she didn't need anything. Not even a small token. Not even a gesture. Nothing. Then the proposal comes afterward. Big, beautiful, emotional. But would it erase the earlier sting? I don't know. Maybe it would. Maybe it wouldn't. And that uncertainty is what brings me here. Because I genuinely don't know if I crossed a line. Maybe I should have kept my thoughts to myself. Maybe Daniel is right, and I'm the one who made something out of nothing. Maybe I overstepped. Or maybe honesty between long-term friends should matter more than pretending everything is perfect. So I'm left with this question, one I can't answer alone. Was I wrong for telling my friend that a proposal isn't a Christmas gift?